Hello guys, today we're going to talk about all the lore in Animal Hospital. Okay, let's get into it. So, for the first one, it's probably going to be that Dr. Harlow is an anomaly. Now, I have so much proof for this one, like more proof than you would normally see in other videos. I'm going to try not to check my journal or anything, because it's very hard not to when you're on mobile. It's very hard to move around in the lobby without looking in your journal. So I'm going to try. Okay, if I can't get up to the window, then I'll just show you from here. I did. Okay, so look, there is Dr. Harlow with hollowed eyes. Next, if you go down to the thing here, Dr. Harlow has sign gloves in these pictures. I'm just going to show you. But look, here is Dr. Harlow performing surgery as an anomaly. And then here's something that has more proof. If you go to the if Ron says that the patients that go to the hospital, they don't get sick. Well, they are sick, but they get infected. And then the more they come, you can even see from Elizabeth's story that the more they come, the more they turn into an anomaly. Like, they're slowly transforming if you look at these pictures. And I find that very interesting. Let me know about you guys. And then Dr. Harlow says the more you work at the hospital, the work is like so hard that some people go or so like interesting that some people go mad over it, like hollowed eyes and stuff. And as we know, Dr. Harlow's been working at the hospital for very long. As we see from the lobby window, he does indeed have hollowed eyes, depending on the time. Now we know that Ratina, Rathiu's missing sister, worked for the hospital or Animal Corporation. Now, do I think that Ratina turned into the stalker? I do not think Ratina turned into the stalker. And because if we go over to Ron's dialogue, he says, "You ever feel someone's watching you from the corner of your eyes?" Yep. See, he says that in his dialogue. He says, "Yeah, I used to work with that guy." He literally says that he used to work with that guy. He calls it a boy. And then he also says it again, saying that's a boy again. He says, "Just make sure not to stare at him. He is shy." Now, just for you who don't know, so here's the stalker. Yes, he is talking about the stalker indeed. But those of you who don't know, you don't have to check on any website or anything. Just play the game and he'll eventually say that. So no, I do not think Ratina is the stalker. But I do think Dr. Harlow's kid is the stalker because of the bunny x-ray scan in his lab. And if you scan Dr. Harlow, it turns purple. And if you scan the stalker, it turns purple. That would only make sense if the stalker and Dr. Harlow were the same DNA. And Dr. Harlow's kid and Dr. Harlow have the same DNA. And even as you can see, he's checking DNA here. That probably means that he's making the stalker. He even has a book called On the Discovery and Nature of the Anomaly Gene. He even has that. And I know that some animals have curly tails, like the Rathu and Ratina have curly tails. Other animals have curly tails too in the game that aren't just rats. I took these pictures. They are 100% real. And yes, I know that when you take the key from Rathu and you go open the vault and everything like that in room 5, if you go open this vault, then you get the Ratina picture and everything like that. And I know when you show the Ratina picture to the stalker when it's at the check-in window, yes, I know it burns that. But I think the reason of this is just because the stalker dislikes Ratina. Like, if you show a picture of someone from their baby, they're not just going to burn it. Anyways, I think that even more, Dr. Harlow in anomaly form is performing surgery that looks a little bit like his kid. Like, see, it looks a little bit like him. Because even though Dr. Harlow's in his old design in this picture, I think that maybe the kid is in his old design too. Like, I know he wasn't officially announced, but what if the creators knew about him? So the question is, because the experiment was a success, the shadow now sees everything, who is Ratina? I think Ratina is the hider, and I have so much proof. It matches Ratina's height. The stalker does not. That's not too much proof. The hider is literally a shadow. Now all we need to know if that Dr. Harlow's kid is a boy and if he worked for the hospital. Now let's talk about former workers. Let's get into it right now. First we'll start with Oingit. We know from this letter that Ron witnessed it because he heard screaming from down the halls, and that he saw this wild black creature dragging Oingit from under the bed. He tried to help Oingit, but by the time the wild animal, the bed monster, and Oingit were gone. And we know from Dr. Harlow that Oingit was a really good intern, but he was allergic to maple syrup. My theory is, and a lot of people's theory is, that he couldn't escape because he's allergic to maple syrup. Now let's talk about the other employee before Oingit. He was looking for the eye drops and died. That's all we know about him. But from Ron's dialogue. Now let's move on to Barney. He's a very interesting character. We also know that Barney is an anomaly, and that he's a very dangerous serial killer that the police are after. And I think that Barney needs to come get coffee all the time, because we know that when you're getting attacked by a mimic, it doesn't necessarily have to be a mimic, but when you're getting attacked, then you also lose sanity. And that's why, and then when you lose sanity, you need coffee. But like you lose health when you lose sanity. So since Barney's a serial killer and he kills people, I think that when he's trying to kill people, the people fight back and then he loses health or sanity. So then he has to come here and get coffee to recover that health. Now let's talk about Rathu. We know the Animal Corporation is after Rathu, maybe to turn him into an anomaly like they did with his sister, Ratina, or maybe it's for something else. We also know that Rathu doesn't trust people easily because he doesn't even tell you his name the first time he comes into the animal hospital. This is probably because he knows we work for the corporation because they own the hospital, and he doesn't want us to capture him and turn him into an anomaly like they did with his sister, so far as we know of in the game. Now, unfortunately, Rathu lives in the vents of the hospital and he is homeless. And that he snuck into Ron's office before and chewed through some files that Ron wasn't supposed to see, maybe about what happened to Ratina or something. And since we're hitting all the main characters down, we should do Ron from Accounting. I know Ron has been in the video a lot, but that's only because of dialogue that he says that involved the other characters, and those were not about him. Let's learn about Ron from Accounting, since not a lot of people know about him. Alright? Oh, from Accounting is his last name. I kinda knew that, I guess. He works for Animal Corporation's management, so they meet often. I guess they must be friends, right? Alright, next. He's one of the longest lasting employees. He doesn't seem loyal, but just numb. He always has a headache over lots of paperwork, I guess. Okay, so that's what Dr. Harlow has to say about Ron from Accounting. Now, there isn't a lot to know about Ron from Accounting but that, so we're gonna move on to the next thing. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is number 5 on the chore list. We can see that it says feed the thing in the supply closet. Do not put this on the official schedule again. Now, this thing is likely not a mimic or an anomaly we have seen in game, but something new, like, I don't know, maybe just something for fun, like maybe we can get access to more of Dr. Harlow's lab and future updates. I don't know though, I think it would be pretty cool to find out what it is. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you want to, optional, because I am going to post a lore video like this at the end of every update, so if you want to see it, subscribe, and share this to as many people as you can so they can find out the truth about Animal Hospital. Bye, guys.